3, 4.
Well, you get the idea. Knocks need to be a little deeper. Just barely in there. Hmm. Oh yeah. Of course, paracord's not really the thing. It's just kind of a test to get us to the right, close to the right length. Get the knocks in and we'll redo it. I like that it's a little up, like that. The string's on one side. That's good for a crossbow. You put that down. So yeah, I think we're in business. So I think we've managed to do step 1, step 2, step 3. So now we're on to step 4. And luckily 6 is already done. Sorry, Todd, I had to add a screw. There was just no way that that was working with 2 pegs. And same thing here. I just added a pin to hold the pin. Nothing wrong with modern fasteners. We're just trying to go fast here. As you can see, we're not trying to make anything beautiful. We're trying to make something fun. All right, the bow's cooling off. I did some last adjustments. Bent the tips a little bit. Remade the bowstring out of a piece of old shoestring instead of paracord. It's got a way less stretch to it. So it doesn't bend very evenly, but it's definitely a spring. So one thing that I messed up, which I fixed, but I didn't listen to Todd quite. This this pin is supposed to be all the way forward against that shoulder so that it pushes the string up, which is why I just added that metal plate, and now it does the same thing. And there's a little shoulder on the dowel there that holds the plate up, so it's in no danger of going anywhere. Works out the same in the end. I just had to do a little extra because I didn't pay attention to the instructions. I filed the pins down. Kind of looks like a crossbow now. I mean, except the fact that it doesn't have a bow, which is outside cooling off after some more minor modifications. Let's see if it fits. All right, so that's pretty much all the problems cleaned up. I think we're right. It's pretty sensitive now. Everything's been rounded over a little bit. I got this thing, which fits right down in there. I don't know, what do you think? I mean, it definitely works, but good Lord, is it ugly. And that I don't like this trigger mechanism design at all. Simple, yes. Reliable, no. We can do better than this. Come on. Look at that bow. It's retarded looking. Oh, I'm sorry, it's deformed. It is genetically something. I don't know. Probably just cut all that out. I mean, I think at this point I'm supposed to pick it up and smile at the camera and say, "Let me show you its features." But I'm not going to do that. That may be one of the ugliest things I've ever built that actually works. We got to be able to do better than that. All right, I got this piece of trim. But it's a hardwood, and see that bow shape in there? And if you probably can't see that, but it does bend. So when I shape it, it should bend a lot more. This is a piece of southern yellow pine that I rescued from a house in New Orleans. I'm going to glue that on there as the center reinforcement, because this does have one little hazinga there, but it's right in the center, and it's otherwise clear from end to end, which is perfect. So let's see if we can make a single piece bow out of that. That ought to be interesting. I feel like that could have been a lot easier if I had a bandsaw, but it also could have been a lot harder if I did it all by hand. Not sure you can see these lines. They're really close to the edge. Let's see if you can see them this way. There we go, maybe. So this is 3/8 here, all the way up to half. As you can see, there's a little bit of line left to be removed. And then on this side, it's 3/8 here. And you can see there's just a little, well, I had it for, there it is. Right there. There's a little belly that needs to go. All right, I gotta say first, pretty much everything I know about tillering a bow, I learned from this guy named Kramer Amons. He's a very excitable guy with a company that sells bowstrings, and he makes bows on YouTube. And he's fun to watch. And I've been thinking about his videos a lot while I've been making this bow. So what I just did was I floor tillered this. I just bent it against the floor to see. And then I just looked at it. And you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see what I can see, which is that it's a little thicker in spots. So I just scratched with a pencil. It's starting to taper nicely, but we'll check it again after the next round. And mostly what I'm doing is, in the beginning where it was really high, like one of these was like 0.4 thick and the other one was 0.3. So, or 0.4 and 0.5, I think. I took almost 100 thousandths off, 1/10 of an inch. And I did that with the file, right? And then I came back with the blade from this, from a hand plane, and I just start scraping, and you see how fast it removes the material. Like all that spot where the pencil was is gone now. And then once you do that, you can come back in with the sander, which is the 60 grit, and I just keep smoothing it out and smoothing it out. And you'd be surprised how much material that takes off. So. I mean, I'm probably missing something vitally important, like the fact that this side should be flat and I should be removing material from that side. But I don't see how it makes much of a difference with a single piece like this. And it's really starting to spring nice. I'm getting almost 2 inches deflection at the tip now. So I'm just going to keep thinning it down and thinning it down until it bows kind of like I want it to. All right, doing a little CAD, cardboard assisted design. I want a 3-piece trigger because I want a sear, which makes this break. When this is heavily loaded, if the only thing you have is a long rod, you have to lift it high and you have to put a lot of force on it, which is not what we want. We want easy break. So as this moves here like this one goes up like that. See if I can get it in the right position. It's cardboard with chopsticks for pins. So now the nut is free to rotate, bang, like that. Which I thought was pretty nifty. It's a basic sear trigger design. Super common in all kinds of firearms design. And I watched, 40 or 50 videos about how to make crossbow triggers and various kinds of triggers. And I'll show you a couple triggers that I've made before. And they're all basically the same. The thing is that for the crossbow, the 2-part trigger is just going to have a lot of force on the lever, which is not really what you want. It's kind of what I have now on the lifting pin trigger, is a lot of force on the string, which makes it hard to throw the trigger, which every time you bump the firing bar, it throws your aim off. So you want a smooth operation so that you can aim. And most of them are some variation of the 2-pin trigger, where you have the rolling block and you're just moving this cam somehow, right? Like every one of them is just these 2 pieces, this one and this one. So you move this one out of the way and then this one rolls. And there's some sort of S shape to the trigger so that it comes down below the stock, and you can lift up on it this way, and then this goes up, this goes down. And I've seen some other variations. This one I really like, which is by a Russian guy. I couldn't even tell you the title or copy the link. It was so long. But that's the only real innovation that I've seen, which is dropping shoulder sear. And he added, see, that's an easy pull away. The trigger goes that way, and then the sear just drops, and the nut can roll. But he added a stop for a safety here, which I really liked. Building that inside the cavity might be difficult, of a single piece of wood. Might be difficult, might not. It's really just square cut, and then another square cut for the hole. So that's actually doable. I might try that one. But then I was like, let me sleep on it. And I went back and was looking at this, and this is good. And I keep going through the playlists of crossbow trigger videos, and I find this one, which is literally exactly the same as what I just came up with. His rolling block is like a Y piece, but it's basically a rolling block. His sear looks exactly like my sear, and the trigger looks exactly like the trigger. The funny thing is, download patent. Yeah, you think you patent that? Who gave you a patent on that? That's so prior art. There's no way you should have a patent on that. It looks exactly like every other gun mechanism. No different. The key, though, which nobody talks about, I think, is that this pin, and this pin are all in a line. And that's so I can add or shorten this lever as necessary to make it fit. I can make the trigger bar longer or have any shape I want. I might put a bend in it back there so it goes up underneath the stock and looks like a traditional trigger. as long as these three things are in a line and this sear locks this roller and this hammer pushes on the back of the sear and pushes that out of the way. Any variation of that. So I think that's what I'm going to try for, because it incorporates the traditional rolling block design, which is easy to make, right? I don't need to do a lot of carving out on this. I can just drill, cut, and I'm done. There's the whole rolling block, and then it's easy to carve that out. And that's what you want. You want simple machining operations that you can do in your garage with a drill press and a jigsaw. That's what we're looking for, because that's what we have. All right? Patent. I give you a little credit for figuring it out before me, but I figured it out independent of you. So I don't know how you could possibly have a patent on it, because we're both working from prior art and looking at other examples. So whoever gave you a patent on that, I think you're full of shit, frankly. High-speed steel, except no imitations. Like butter. And straight. Exact same drill settings, everything. Not a bad cut, actually. Here, let me show you this while I still have it in the vise. You can see I got there's a V block to hold the round part in the speed vise, which fits in the big vise. And it's pretty easy to cut. And this is the spring. It's just going to touch the thing there, so it'll push that one back down. That'll force everything back in place. So it's just going to be like that. And this is the axle for the wheel. It's a brass bolt with a 5/16 steel sleeve on it. And I'll probably do something similar for these. I have this, this is 1/4 inch, and it fits those holes. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. The right side needs a lot more tillering, and the left side is a little twisted. So you can see pencil marks. I'm going to take a little bit off that. It needs to get cleaned up there anyway. That should take the twist out. And then this whole limb just a little bit thinner all along. And I think then we'll be good. Man, that's brutal. Back to the drawing board. Maybe. 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 Look at that. It's already bowed. Let's just pause for a second. Give thanks to our great Canadian neighbors for all of the beautiful things that they produce. Let me tell you that this hockey stick, after polishing it on the sander, smells exactly like a bottle of whiskey. Love the Canadians. What do? You soak the thing in whiskey? It's probably because it's oak, and whiskey smells like oak, and all those hot tannins. But boy, does it make me want to start drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Merci beaucoup, mon ami. All right, it's made. It bows. This limb needs to bow more, but I'm not going to waste my time because see that? Right there. Let's just break it. So, here's where we're at. Nowhere. There's one broken. There's the first one, which was coming out so nice. Can't believe that limb just popped like that. I mean, look at that failure. There was no crack there, nothing. It just popped. Now what? It's going to be the anvil preheat. It's too freaking cold out here, really, to be doing this. So, let that warm the anvil up a little bit so it doesn't just cool the work off super fast. So everything was going along fine. I had the end and the curve in that one. And suddenly, somehow, this is just like half the blade is missing. See where the holes are? That's fail number 3. I guess the good news is at least the forge works good. I can control the heat. I can get it real hot. I don't have to lean over. It could use a chimney, but it's really fine without it. And it will get metal yellow hot. So there's that.
Forge 20. Da-na-na!